Texas roads are being chewed up by a multi-billion-dollar fuel trafficking scheme being orchestrated by Mexican cartels. This is Monday, August 17th, 2026.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Thanks for kicking off your week with this Monday edition of the Texas Minute. Texas Tech is making news for offering tenure to professors who are not radical leftists. More on that coming up. Cartel-linked fuel trafficking has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar organized crime enterprise. Now, fuel trafficking begins when diesel is legally purchased in Texas. Truck drivers then buy overweight permits that authorize travel only on designated routes, then divert to clandestine fuel transfer sites. There, that diesel is cut with substances that increase the volume in order to sell more fuel in Mexico per trip. Mexico has a small refining capacity for diesel, but a large demand, with prices 2 to 3 times higher than in the United States. The Texas Department of Public Safety estimates that the fuel trafficking industry generates up to $21 billion for the cartels, making it as profitable as the trafficking of narcotics. Members of the Texas Senate Committee on Homeland and Border Security were told last week that the heavily overloaded trucks are contributing to potholes, ruts, and other road damage. The fuel trafficking also serves as a way for cartels to launder proceeds from human trafficking and the drug trade. Flock Safety has announced changes to its privacy safeguards amid public opposition to the widespread use of its AI-powered cameras and concerns about law enforcement abuse. Flock's cameras have become hotly debated in Texas and around the country. State and federal lawmakers are pushing for laws that create guardrails for the technology. Such concerns are amplified by the fact that Flock makes its data available to law enforcement agencies without requiring a warrant. Among the things Flock says it will do is reduce the default time data is retained from 30 days to 7, and in response to well-documented cases of law enforcement officials using the system improperly to stalk romantic partners, the company is introducing technology that will detect such behavior by its users and report it for review. Republican U.S. Representative Keith Self of McKinney said the company was trying to, quote, put lipstick on a pig. He's filed legislation requiring federal law enforcement agencies to obtain official warrants before accessing or querying data collected by state and local systems, including those operated by Flock. Regents for the Texas Tech University system ratified tenure designations for 7 professors across their system as part of the consent agenda for their recent meeting. What made those appointments so unique is that none of the newly tenured professors demonstrate any ideological or political leanings. This creates a notable contrast with recent tenure approvals at Texas's other taxpayer-subsidized higher education institutions. Recent investigations by Texas Scorecard uncovered a series of tenure applicants at Texas A&M and the University of North Texas with documented histories of radical pseudo-scholarship in grievance studies. Regents at those university systems nevertheless rubber-stamped final approval for their tenure. Texas Tech's tenure appointments this summer are also far fewer than those at other university systems. Regents for UT and UNT approved several dozen, while Texas A&M approved more than 100. Houston voters will decide 2 significant law enforcement policy changes on their November 3rd ballot. The proposed measure would make low-level marijuana possession the lowest enforcement priority for the Houston Police Department. It would also prohibit the use of no-knock warrants inside the city. Mayor John Whitmire has said the proposal reflects what HPD already does in practice, noting that no-knock warrants have not been served during his administration or that of his predecessor. The group that organized the ballot petition drive was the liberal Ground Game Texas. That group has placed decriminalization measures on city ballots around the state. Attorney General Ken Paxton has sued several of those cities, arguing their ordinances violate state law requiring municipalities to fully enforce drug statutes. You can get details on all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Grant Hawk, Eddie Hovland, Adam Kahn, and Michael Wilson. Our producer is Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Now, go make it a great Monday.